Hello my dear students, welcome to my video. This is the first time that you've listened to Mr. Joe teaching via a video. So I hope that you'll like it and that you'll enjoy it. So for today's lesson, you'll need firstly your notebooks, pencils, and erasers. And the reason why you need your notebooks, pencils, and erasers is because you'll be doing some exercises and taking notes. So I'll give you 20 seconds to get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I hope that everybody is ready now. So let us begin. Our lesson for today is about the 4 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, and replace. So now let's look at what you are going to learn for today. By the end of this mini lesson, what you will learn. The first thing is, I'll introduce 4 ways to make less rubbish. And the second goal for today's lesson is for you to understand that rubbish is a big problem in our world today. Lastly, and I hope that you will understand what waste reduction means. Firstly, we already talked about what landfill is. And as you know, landfill is a place for us to throw away all the rubbish, and then we collect them and then we bury them inside the soil. One other problem is that it takes up a large amount of land that we have. Please look at the picture. This is usually what a rubbish bin looks like when it's full of rubbish. Okay? So imagine that every single family in Macau has to throw away their rubbish, and the people have to collect all the rubbish. And they put it in landfill. How will it look like? Let's see. So are you surprised? Shocked? So much rubbish in a landfill. And they will not decompose. They're not food. They're mainly plastics and things that we don't want. So they're waste. So my question is, what can we do to help our planet? One of the methods that we can use is called waste reduction. Waste reduction means to make less rubbish. For citizens like us, we can reduce waste by practicing the 4 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, and replace. So what I want you to do now is to write down the definition of waste reduction. Please write it down now. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let us continue. Like I said before, we talked about what waste reduction means. So now, let's talk about the 4 R's. The 4 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle, and replace, are ways for us to reduce waste. So let's talk about the first R, reduce. Reduce means to lessen the things that we use or have. So for example, instead of taking many plastic bags in a supermarket for you to carry your food back home, take one large plastic bag instead. Why? The reason why we have to reduce the things that we have is that the more things we have, the more things that we will throw away. That will cause many problems to our environment. Remember that plastic cannot be decomposed, or it will take a very, very long time to decompose. That's why we need to reduce the amount of plastic bags we use. The second R is replace. Replace means to change from non-durable objects to durable objects. So you might ask, Mr. Joe, what does non-durable and durable mean? Well, non-durable means that you cannot use for a long time. And durable means you can use for a long time. So let me give you an example. Instead of using paper cups for drinking at a party, for example, then instead of giving paper cups to your friends and family, give them durable cups. So for example, a mug, a ceramic mug, like you use for drinking. That way, by replacing non-durable objects, we can throw away less things. The third R is reuse. Reuse means to use the same object again. My example for you is, instead of throwing your plastic bottle away, you can use it to turn it into a piggy bank. Let's look at the picture. For number one, all you have to do is to reuse the bottle, cut it, do a little bit of work, okay? For picture number two, glue it and tape it together. 3, use a spray to spray the bottle so that any color you want. In this case, the color pink. And on the fourth picture, you can see that there are two kinds of piggy banks. One is pink and one is transparent and yellow. It's not only fun to reuse the things that you have, but it's also good for the environment. You're not throwing things away. The last R that we'd like to talk about is something that we are all familiar with. It's called recycle. Recycling means to change waste materials into new materials and objects. So for example, we can recycle plastic bottles into thread to make clothes. So Mr. Joe, what do you mean by that? Making clothes? Plastic? Clothes? Let's have a look on how recycle works.
Out as your rubbish was carefully sorted, then shredded and turned into cloth. That cloth was shredded into fluff, spun into thread and turned into fashion, from plastic bottles to polyester clothing.
Okay, as you can see in the video,
Out as your rubbish.
when we recycle the bottles, we have to swash it, we have to break it apart. And then very slowly,
Was carefully sorted,
plastic
then
will
shredded.
turn into
Out as
plastic
your
will turn
rubbish
into other
was
materials.
carefully sorted, then shredded and turned into
Very
cloth.
slowly.
That cloth was shredded into fluff.
that was thread, by the way. And
fluff spun
after
into
we got
thread,
materials, we turn it into thread for making clothes. And lastly, we
and
can
turned
use
into
plastic,
fashion, from plastic bottles to
which
polyester.
turned into thread to make clothes. So the coat that you're seeing now, is made with plastic. Amazing, isn't it? So I hope that you've learned something new today. But before we end the video, I want to see if you really know what you have learned in this lesson. So, let's have a little mini quiz. At the top, you can see the vocabulary that you've learned today. Landfill, reuse, replace, recycle, reduce, and waste reduction. So I want you to try to fill in the blanks. Okay? They have the meanings to it, number 1 to number 6. I will read the definitions to you, and please use your pencils and your notebooks and write down the answers. You don't need to copy the definition. All you have to do is to fill in the blanks. Number 1. Means to change from non-durable objects to durable objects. 2. Is a place where we put all the rubbish we collect in one big place. 3. Means to change waste materials into new materials and objects. 4. Means to use the same object again. 5. Means to make less rubbish. And number 6, means lessen the things that we use or have. You have 30 seconds to do this exercise. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I hope that you have time to fill in the blanks. If you haven't, it's okay, because now I'm going to show you the answers. If you made mistakes, please do the corrections. If you got it all correct, give yourself a thumbs up. Show it to me tomorrow in tomorrow's lesson. If you cannot finish it, it's okay. You can try to finish it when I show you the answers. So then 1. Replace means to change from non-durable objects to durable objects. Landfill is a place where we put all the rubbish we collect in one big place. Recycle means to change waste materials into new materials and objects. 4. Reuse means to use the same object again. 5. Waste reduction means to make less rubbish. Reduce means lessen the things that we use or have. Make it less means reduce. Okay, so to end today's lesson, I would like to summarize what you've learned today. So the first thing that we would like to talk about is that the resources means the things we have for us to use that our planet Earth have are limited. We must cherish and be careful on how we use them. Limited means that once you use it, you won't have it again. Second, putting all kinds of rubbish in the landfill is causing lots of problems for us and the environment. Thirdly, the 4 ways for us to make less rubbish are reduce, reuse, recycle, and replace. To save resources and the environment, we can use the 4 R's to lessen the rubbish we make. We can do it. Okay? And lastly, by using the 4 R's, we can keep our resources for a longer period of time. Okay, thank you very much for listening to my video. I hope that you've learned something today, and I will see you next lesson. Goodbye.